need to get on over to youtube.com. Check out Pwalpar's channel. He's getting pretty handy with that little camera here. Good day, my friends. Let me tell you a story. The other day, I told you about the time I set my hand on fire with lighter fluid. Yesterday, I told the story of my old smoking jacket that I wore for many years with the railroad. It brought to mind many a memory of burning pains, so I will elaborate a bit on the subject. I spent 34 years repairing railway freight cars. Many of these repairs involved working with welding machines, Oxy-acetelene torches to cut and heat and bend and shape metal like a blacksmith. If you could examine my body closely, you would see the evidence of many a burn scar. Often it was the results of my carelessness, and often it was flat out unavoidable. Welders and torches produce lots of sparks and molten metal and hot slag. Quite often you have a welding helmet on and are standing in its direct path to the floor or the ground when you're welding overhead, for example. We were paid extra pay, which was added to our hourly salary to supposedly offset the burned up clothing that was destined to happen. Let me give you some examples of what often happened in situations that arose from it and often resulted in my doing a dance or a jig or hopping around like a village idiot. You may inquire, what the heck is he talking about? Here are some examples for you to imagine. You're welding often over your head and sparks of molten metal is dropping all over you. You're wearing heavy boots. They are laced up and double tied. Suddenly, somehow, a white-hot glob of molten metal winds up inside your boot and immediately burns right through to your socks. It begins burning right through your skin, and it's hurting like hell warmed over. You drop what you're doing and dance around, trying to kick your foot and maybe dislodge it from your skin because you don't have the luxury of jerking your boot off quickly. Lots of foul words and ouches and oohs and ahs and my goodness emerges from your voice box that you didn't intend or expect to have to utter. You feel even more like the village idiot when you realize nearby fellow workers are laughing at you. Why are they laughing, you ask? Well, it's because they have been through the same situation, so they express their glee with lots of ha-has, hee-hees, and occasional hearty har-har. Now, the hot metal in the boot ain't the only thing that can happen, so I will elaborate further. There is the occasional slag going in your ear and rolling around in your eardrum as you beat yourself upside the head trying to dislodge it. And of course, do a special dance or jig to speed it up, and that produces more ha-has as well. There must be a sickness among welders that produces the laughs and lack of sympathy from them. The coup de grace, however, isn't the occasional getting your clothes caught on fire, but the embarrassing times and immediate roars of laughter when somehow hot metal winds up in your underwear, burning places you sure as heck don't want singed or burnt. And you're pulling your trousers down in public trying to relieve this situation. I often burn my hands touching hot metal as well. And I will relate one final example of burning pains. I was repairing a wrecked tank car one day. While manufacturing a bracket to the handbrake, I picked up a piece of metal that I forgot was hot. Immediately producing third-degree burns, I dropped the metal instantly. Bill Cleveland was working nearby and began to laugh. I asked, "What are you laughing at, old man?" And he replied, Brother Parks, it sure don't take you long to examine a piece of hot metal. And he laughs, hardy, har. Well, I hope you enjoyed my story today. And this is Pwalpar signing off.